Welcome to the Zeducation podcast, where it's all about helping people and organizations unleash their greatness. Hosted by me, Pasitawa Haufano, and my brother.
That's me, Kalolo Haufano.
The Zeducation podcast features lively discussions.
When they share it, you see that they're beginning to feel empowered.
My heart, it's full of pride for me to be at Maitai Samoa.
As well as tips on leadership and business by some of the top minds and influencers around the world.
You don't necessarily need a degree these days. There's so many pathways to success.
Welcome to the Zeducation podcast. Welcome to our Zeducation podcast episode today. Rising from the fields of Wesley College to the global stage as an All Black, Tupou Vaa'i's story is a testament to unwavering resilience and a relentless pursuit of excellence. A leader from his youth, Tupou's journey was propelled by his ambitious spirit and innate leadership, captaining his school team and earning a spot in the 2019 World Rugby Under-20 Championships. His professional debut at just 18 years old for Taranaki was just the beginning. Faced with adversity in the 2020 season with the Chiefs, Tupou didn't just fill the gap, he shone brightly, leading to his historic selection as the first 21st century born All Black. Tupou's debut year was marked by stepping up when the team needed him the most, scoring his debut test try and leaving an incredible mark on the international rugby stage. Tupou's story is not just about sports, it's a beacon of inspiration for anyone chasing their dreams, reminding us that with resilience, leadership, and a commitment to excellence, no goal is too distant. Welcome to our show, brother. How are you doing today?
Yeah, no, thanks for that intro. All good. Morally, it's an honor to be here, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity to come in and speak about my journey. So, yeah.
Awesome, thank you. I know you live in Hamilton. You drove all the way here to Pukekohe, the heart of Auckland. Oh, I love it. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, brother. I mean, putting an intro is not hard for an All Black because there's so much information about you. I mean, there's even information on Wikipedia about you, a whole story. I think Wikipedia knows you better than I do.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of information, some true, some not so true, but yeah.
Well, that's it, eh? Well, I'm glad I got you on a podcast. We got the real guy, and so we can have a real conversation. So straight from the source here. Well, I guess to kind of kick things off, share something interesting about yourself that not many people know about you.
I could be wrong here, but those rugby geeks out there, you can probably correct me for this, but I'm pretty sure I'm the first All Black that was born in the 21st century. So that's something most people don't know. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of an inspiration to young people coming up, eh?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, greatness is achievable. So I love that. How does it feel, though, to be the youngest or one of the youngest ones in the All Black?
At the time, it was pretty daunting because you're definitely meeting new players and different type of coaches. And obviously the pressure of performing for your country was also there as well. So for a young fella, it's pretty daunting, but it's a hissing challenge that you want to step towards. And
yeah, I mean, being an All Black is no small feat. It does carry a bit of a responsibility in a way because you're representing the country when you're going out there. So all eyes on you.
Yeah, pretty much.
No pressure.
And it's the main team for this country, so you don't really want to disappoint the fans and obviously your teammates. So yeah,
we're pretty keen to get into that later on in the podcast, just around how do you deal with that pressure, especially with the mindset thing. But let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to your story and the journey, how this all started. Where did your passion for rugby come from?
I guess just outside the cousin's house, just playing outside on the front field, and didn't start to get serious until Dad enrolled me into a local rugby club in Otara, East Tamaki Rugby Football Club. Didn't start playing rugby till I was 11. Played a couple of years in the junior grades there, and then had cousins that attended Wesley, and then Dad thought it was a good idea to send me there as well. So I attended there and played the age grades. When I was young, I was that chubby kid. played prop. Definitely don't like running, that's for sure. Dad used to always come back from work and park on the field and then just tell me to run laps. There's a point that comes to mind that I was doing laps and I went back to the car and Dad was sleeping, and then I woke him up and he's like, no, go back out there and start running again. And I just remember running around the field in tears, and I look back now and I appreciate that little part that Dad did for me, just to go out there and do my running and that sort of thing. But yeah, the journey definitely started at East Tamaki Rugby Club. It was coached by Eric Rush. He's a legendary sevens player and was an All Black as well. So the journey started there, and yeah, I'm pretty much where I'm now because of them, really.
Oh man, awesome. Thank you, Dad. Making you run those laps that you regretted but don't regret today. You should have woke him up and go, hey, you want to come run with me? But make you run more laps, eh?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, that goes to show, I guess, like the great support that you get from family, eh, towards achieving your goals. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like having the community and I guess maybe your family support to help you kind of achieve your dreams and your goals.
I guess as a young kid, you usually wake up and you don't see your parents before you go to school, and by the time you come back from school, they're tired and just go to sleep. And I guess the main thing is, like, I always see the sacrifices that my parents have made to get me to where I am today, and it comes down to the little things like food on the table, like your rugby gear, taking you to trainings, taking you to your games, and that sort of stuff. And you, as you grow up, you start to be grateful for the little things like that. And I guess family has been a big part of my journey, and like the amount of support that I've had in rugby games, I can definitely hear my family on the sideline. That's just crazy, man. And like you just want to give back to them, and I guess that's just a big driving factor for why I play the game. So yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you're a family person and you really love your family. I won't forget that video that went viral where you video called your family. They were all just like kind of sitting in the living room watching, and you gave them the news and said, like, I made it into the All Black.
Yeah. It's, I get pretty emotional talking about it. And it just takes me back to, we had that North v South game that we played in Wellington, and the coaches, before the game, the coaches was like, we'll give you a call the next day to see if you've made the team or not. And as a young fella, I'm like, I'm just here to play footy and I'm not going to make it. It's all right. If I don't make it, it's all good. And then, got the phone call the next morning, and Bowden Barrow was my roommate actually, and I had to leave the room because I didn't want to wake him up. So got the call from the manager at the time, and he told me that I've been selected to be a part of the All Blacks for 2020, and he was saying all these other things, but I just didn't know what he was saying. I was just so blank that I've just made the All Blacks, and and then I rang my parents, and I pretty much told the family to all get together, and I got some news I want to tell them, and obviously the whole family was there, and I told myself that I wasn't going to cry when I told them, and just as soon as I said it, the tears just came out, and seeing all the emotions of the family was just a warm feeling that I can't explain, and it's just like all their sacrifices that they've made when I was younger, it's all been paid off, and for my parents to see my dreams come true is definitely amazing. So
yeah, well, it's almost like a dream come true for them too.
Yeah,
to see someone they loved, or their own child achieve something, and especially for Pacifica people, that's a huge goal. Like your win is everyone's win.
Yeah,
when they see you achieve something, it's crazy. I mean, like, it sounded like it was a dream for everyone for you to become an All Black too, which sounds pretty cool. Tell us how that dream, where did it come from? Like, man, I want to be an All Black one day. Like, where did that actually start?
To be honest, it started when my uncle Fenga, he was praying for me one time, and he said, one day you're going to be an All Black. And like, to me, I was like, I brushed it off and I was like, nah, I'm not going to be an All Black. And then it didn't hit me until I was at my last year of Wesley College, first 15. When I was getting selected for teams, I knew that I was good enough to get there. I had the potential, and just came down to how much that I really wanted, to be honest. So, yeah.
Yeah. What it goes to show, I mean, obviously your family had so much belief and confidence in you. I mean, like to say you're going to be an All Black one day, that's a lot of confidence. Yeah. You know, and it's not a goal that everyone can achieve. It's a dream, but it's a hard goal, you know. Tell us some of the challenges towards achieving that goal. Like, what were some of the things that really like just kind of shaked your faith a little bit? Be like, oh, but you found a way to kind of get through it.
I guess definitely that COVID year, 2020. I was just contracted to Taranaki, and obviously we went into that lockdown, and I could have really easily just sat around and wait for that little phase to pass by, but luckily I had a training partner, Sal, my cousin Sal, stay with us for that lockdown period, and we made it a goal of ours that we'll get up 3 times a week and we'll do running and that sort of stuff. And I kind of just went through that phase of just training, just the two of us. And then obviously went through that level 4 phase of lockdown and that sort of stuff. And then obviously the rules kind of eased off, and Dad went back to work. So me and my cousin went back to work with Dad. And there was just one day that the CEO for the Chiefs just rang me in, told me that if I was interested to play on that new Super Rugby Aotearoa comp. And to me, I was like shocked, but I knew that it's definitely an opportunity to play Super Rugby, and that was one of my goals at that time. And those challenges are definitely tough when not knowing what the future looks like after COVID. And
yeah, during COVID, it was pretty hard for everyone. You know, everyone kind of started off, and I saw this myself, and I even went to the shops and I started buying gym equipment because the gyms were all going to be closed. I was like, oh, dang it, you know, what am I going to do now to look after my fitness and my health? You know, so I started buying gym equipment, went to the garage, and then did that for a little bit, but I was like, it's not the same. It just wasn't the same. But it was cool that, you know, you found a way during COVID. You know, you and your cousin ran out for a bit of a run. You set a goal together, and you had that support person too. And it just goes to show how important it is to have that person by your side that's got your back, and it's keen to like, nah, let's do it together and hold you accountable. Hey.
Yeah, so the toughest thing is when you're training by yourself, it's pretty tough to find motivation to be able to push through. But when you got someone there by your side, like you're pretty much competing against each other, and you definitely want the best of each other. So I was pretty lucky that I had him in the lockdown period, and he definitely pushed me, and I definitely pushed him. So
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Is there some other things that you've learned about like motivation that's really helped you like stay focused and committed to a goal or something? Like, is there anything that you've learned that's helped?
Probably that there's always going to be lows. There's always going to be a lot of speed bumps in your journey, and I guess if you can get past that, then you can get past anything. And I guess you just got to love the grind really, and love the journey.
Yeah, that's it. Love the journey. I love that. I love that. Seeing it as like a journey, rather than like if a challenge happens, give up, or it wasn't meant to be, got to go. This is not the goal that was meant for me. You know, it's like, no, it's just a journey. It's just a part or a phase that we need to get through. Yeah. Hey, I really love that. That's so cool. So let's fast forward now. I mean, to you know, you're now an All Black. You got the black jersey. What does that mean to you to be an All Black and to finally wear that black jersey? What does that mean to you personally?
I see it as opportunity to add my own legacy into that jersey. A big part of the All Blacks is we always talk about legacy and like leaving the jersey behind in a good place. And obviously you see those greats like Richard McCaw, Dan Carter, Brody Vitalik, Sam Whitelock. The list goes on and on, but to see what they've done in the jersey is inspirational and something that I'm striving to be and striving to become like people like them. And they've set the standard high, and I'm currently chasing it. And but yeah, the jersey means a lot. You know, it's like I said before, there's a lot of pressure wearing that jersey, but it's just something that you've always grown up watching and seeing the boys wear their black jersey. It's it's just another way where I can what do you call it? Another way that I can put my family name out there. That's another big driving factor. So yeah,
I love that. That's also talks to a deep sense of motivation. Like a lot of people can do something because they're motivated. I'm going to look good. My name, glory for me, or I'm going to do it for money. But when you say I'm going to do it to leave a legacy, like you're talking about something deep there. Like you're talking about your family. It's not just about me. It's about the generations that come afterwards. So, what can I leave as a gift, for them to move on?
Yeah.
Hey, that's so cool. And I like that you acknowledged the All Blacks before. Those who have, like you said, set the bar really high. Like even after they're not playing rugby anymore, but their name's still around.
Yeah.
And when you think of them, you think of the All Blacks. And just they're still inspirational even after retiring from the All Blacks.
Yeah.
So I love that. So let's talk about this is a little bit not the questions that I gave you, but I feel like it's a very important one in terms of building a legacy. I guess what are some things that you're doing or thinking about to help build a legacy, whether with the All Black or even beyond that?
The thing that comes to mind is when I sort my stuff off the field, the on the field will sort itself out. And I guess another thing that comes to mind is just looking after my mental health, really. And I guess for men, it's a subject that's pretty touch and go with us. And being able to express my feelings and just talk about what's going on in my mind, it helps me, perform well and on the field. And I guess it's definitely the mental health stuff.
I love that. I love how you talked about, one of the ways that you're going to build legacy is not just what you do on the field, because everyone sees that All Black TV, we can watch replays over and over on YouTube and share articles and stuff, but it's what you do off the field. And you talked about looking after your mental health, your well-being. All of those things are very important, because it impacts what happens on the field as well. How important is that we look after things off the field, because it impacts what we do on the field? Because the reason why I ask this is it's the same for work. Like, you think of the field as people's workplace. When they go back home off the field, they got to be able to take care of their family, take care of themselves, their well-being, because it does impact what happens at work. Can you maybe talk a little bit about that, off field, on field?
Well, I guess I'll keep it pretty simple, but if you sort your stuff off the field, then you can give 100% on what you do.
Like that.
You know what I mean? Like if you're going to work thinking about other things back at home, then it's definitely going to affect your workplace or what you do on the field in terms of sport. So I just like to keep things simple, and as simple as good, and I just like to simplify things as much as I can to allow me to be the best person when I do step on that field. So
keeping things really simple. It's so you're not stressed about it. You're not constantly busy, not just physically but in your mind. But if you keep things really simple, it's manageable. It's easier to focus. Your mind's more clear. Right, so I like that, and I like what you said there around if we look after things off the field, we can give 100% on the field, and I love that. It's the same principle. I think can happen to anything. If you look after things at home and all of that, you can give 100% at work or in your business if you're a business
pretty
owner
much,
or
yeah.
whatever it is, you know. I love that. That's so good. So look, when I think of the All Blacks, they're a lot of people, even in business, use them as an example for like, this is a team, teamwork, collaboration, roles, high performing team, right? You are a part of the, like one of the symbolic high performing teams that people look at and try to learn from. I'd love to hear about that a little bit. Like, what do you think it is that you guys do on the field or off the field that make you guys perform really good at your peak together?
I guess we always talk about doing your part for the team, and whether it's small, whether it's big. If you do your part for the team will succeed, and I think that's one thing that we're trying to use at the Chiefs as well. If you do your part, we'll get the results, and then more players will prosper into the next level. And yeah, I think it's just as simple as that. If you do your part for the team, the business will succeed, and I guess your business will grow as well. So
I think people tend to forget that. And I love how simple you made it in terms of like, you know, we see the bigger picture. Yes, we're a team, but then also, you know, stepping into the picture, like what's my role in the team and how can I perform well, you know? So rather than trying to worry about other people, worry about what you need to do and stay focused on that, eh?
exactly, yeah.
I love that. What are some habits that you've seen that your team do that's really helped you guys perform really well in your role and as a team?
I guess you got different types of leadership. You got players that know what to say at the right time, and then you got players that lead by example, and then everyone, like the one thing that comes to mind is that everyone has a lot of care for the jersey and a lot of care for the team, and everyone strives to be better, and everyone wants to play. That's the one thing that I love, that everyone competing to be in the 23, and it's a healthy competition, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's very important that you talked about. You know, yes, you could have like a leader or captain of the team, but everyone's got to learn how to lead themselves as well, eh? You know, like, I got to play my part. I got to do it well, but I also got to pull my weight so I don't let anybody else down as well, eh? Because it affects other people. I guess, especially with the All Blacks, there's a lot of challenges and a lot of pressure that comes with that, I guess, that black jersey, that responsibility. What are some of the, I guess, challenges that you face as an All Black off the field? And I guess, what are some ways that you navigate through that?
I think the one thing that people get wrong is they forget that we're human. The challenging one was we lost a few games. We lost back-to-back games that's hardly happened for the All Blacks, and I guess the old, like, you know, they use the past a lot. Like, people use the past a lot and thinking that the All Blacks, or they just think the All Blacks should win every single rugby game, and like they forget that we're human, and I guess we all have feelings, and the toughest one for me will be when people like don't even know you but they say things about you, especially now the world we live in now is like like people comment on like stuff. It's just it's pretty challenging when you read it, but we all get trained by media person. Like I said before, Matt Monakea has he's got a few people that help us, that train us to not do that sort of stuff and not read all those comments and that sort of thing. So that'll be the biggest challenging factor, really.
Man, I can imagine that being really hard, You know, especially if I've heard stories where people have said it to their face, the All Blacks, but even just on social media, you know, you read these comments, and it's not just what people do, like the keyboard warriors, it's also the media, you know, and that's outside your guys' control, obviously, but to have articles that publish this and that about you, and sometimes it can be quite discouraging. I can imagine, I'm like, man, you know, I wonder how they must be feeling dealing with all of that. So, you know, like you said, you're a human and you can't win every game, right? And yes, there are some losses, and yes, people take that to heart. But, you know, there's a thing about you guys, especially as professional athletes, is that you don't let those failures hold you back, define you. You let it be a stepping stone. And it's just like, hey, we got to keep going. We got to keep growing. We can't let this hold back. Let's look back and learn from it, right? Can you talk a little bit about that? Like, how do you guys, especially as All Blacks, it sounds like you guys already got some people to help support with the mindset thing. How do you guys then as a team move on from dealing with those losses and using that as like leverage to move forward?
I guess you definitely take the learnings from the game, and then I guess what matters is the people in the room. You know, we don't want to point the finger to any of the players, but as long as we, you know, stick together, stay connected, and you know, we'll move past that little phase. And I guess we did. If you look back to last year, people didn't think they weren't going to make the final for the Rugby World Cup, and we ended up making it. And yeah, I guess it's just about the people in the room. As long as we stay connected as one, then we'll overcome anything. So yeah,
I love that. The strength comes in unity, eh? I love that. Because I can imagine, like, you know, like, oh, you know, we could have won that game if it wasn't for you, kind of thing, you know. But there is none of that. Yeah. It's like, look, we lost this game together. How can we learn from this together, and how can we grow from it together? I love that. It sounds like, just by listening to you this whole time, sounds like there's a culture of unity, support. I got your back. I've got to do my part. I got to do it well. So, you know, I think for our listeners, that's a really good insight and, I guess, idea of what the All Blacks is kind of like, you know, working together. So thank you for giving us an insight into that world. I want to come back to you as an individual, especially getting out there on the field. How do you prepare yourself, like your mindset in that, getting into the zone so that you're ready to give your 100% on the field? What do you do? Again, I keep it pretty simple. I just try to get over all my detail around our strikes and definitely line our moves as a forward. And the more I'm clear around my role, the more I don't have to think about it on the field. It just comes all natural. And yeah, I guess it just comes down to the little things like planning my week, that sort of stuff. And yeah, pretty much that, really. Yeah, it's keeping it really simple, eh?
Yeah.
I love that. And find what works for you, eh?
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, find what works for you, and just trying to build like habits, good habits, and that sort of stuff. So
yeah. Especially with your fitness and health, that's everything. I mean, obviously the game is all about, if you're not fit, you can't perform, right? If you're not physically strong, you can't perform at your peak. And also the whole mindset thing. How important, speaking to our listeners around there, you know, just encouraging them around their fitness and health, is there any advice that you can give or words of encouragement?
Yeah, the toughest thing is starting, really, and once you start, and then if you keep doing it, it becomes easier. And what else could I say? I guess the days that you don't want to do fitness or go to the gym, those are the days that really matter. Because you'll definitely feel good some days, and then you'll feel terrible on some other days. And I guess once you do it, you feel better for doing it. If you understand what I mean. And,
yeah.
But yeah, I see in your story you went to the gym today, and what made you want to go to the gym?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Oh,
sorry,
here we go. We'll flip the tables here. There we go. I think when you first start, it's like, like you're right, it's hard. But when you keep doing it, it becomes a habit. Yeah. And I feel off if I don't go.
Yeah.
You know, like whereas, like if I don't go to the gym, I just like, man, I don't feel like me. Or I don't think, so I've gotten into a rhythm and consistency where it's like now it feels off if I don't go. Whereas, but it's like you said, it's just the first steps. It's just showing up. And there are, like you said, I'm sure All Blacks feel this way, especially talking to you, an athlete, is you have those days where it's just not, you don't feel 100%. But you know that after you do it, it's going to feel much better. And that's what I focus on. It's like, look, I don't feel it, but I know that it's guaranteed I'm going to feel better after. Yeah. But I guess the more you do it, then the more you know it. Yeah. So is that what you're talking about there? I like that. Look, we're reaching towards the end of our podcast, and it's just been awesome to have an All Black come into our studio, which is awesome. And I was telling people about this. How did you manage to get that? It's like, hey, don't worry, man. Don't worry. Just watch the podcast. It's going to be awesome. But it's cool to learn from someone who plays for like one of the most high performing teams that we know of in the world. So thank you for being generous with your wisdom and your tips and that. I guess just 2 final questions. One, speaking to people who might be aspiring to get into All Blacks or just making a career rugby, a career. What's some advice that you can give them to help them towards their goals?
When I was a young fellow, when I made it young, I didn't use my age as an excuse. I've always tried to push the old fellas and they love it because you're pretty much hunting for their job and they're trying to keep their job. So probably one advice is don't give up. I'm a massive believer that everything happens for a reason, and just strive to be the best, really.
Yeah, I love that. Don't let age be an excuse. Yeah. So what should we use then as our final question? What should we use to help, I guess, define our goals or way that we measure it?
Well, if we talk about goals, like if you just say it, it doesn't mean anything. But if you write it down on a piece of paper, there's a higher chance that you will achieve it. It's just like a to-do list. If you write something down, there's a higher chance that you will do it. But if you say, I'll do this, I'll go to the gym this day, you'll be like, oh, nah.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure you do that for real, eh?
Yeah, I guess that's what, I like to plan my week. So, like, there's something that I'm looking forward to, and, like, I know what I'm going to do this certain day. But, yeah.
See, I love it. So, that's coming straight from an All Black, even just planning, scheduling things. And if you want to make your goals a little bit more achievable, make it more tangible. Write it down. That's the first step towards making it a reality. I love that. Well, again, thank you so much, Tupou, for just coming onto our show today and being very generous with your time and your knowledge and wisdom. I guess what's the next thing for Tupou in the future?
Oh, hopefully get married, have kids.
Oh, yeah. Family man?
Yeah, family man.
Now that's a legacy you want to leave behind. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Tupou, for your time and all the best.
Thank you. Malo pito.